In the top stories, Premier Brantley laid out $261.6 million budget for Nevis. St. Kitts and Nevis signs agreement with Africaribbean Bank and 3 bills to receive second reading at National Assembly on Wednesday. The details on these stories and more after the break.
In cricket, there are a few essentials. A bat, a pitch, a ball, some fielders, and plenty of refreshments. Enjoy the cricket with Angostura Chill. Angostura Chill, the official refreshment partner of the Hero CPL T20.
Get the kind of value you'll love that's unmatched at Courts now. We're unmatched in quality and prices. Buy any item and get up to 30% off the second item of same or equal value store-wide. When you shop with Ready Finance, you can get it now with no cash and pay over time. Now that's unmatched value. Only at Courts. Bringing value home. Special conditions apply. Promotion runs February 28, 2023.
Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Channel 5 newscast. I'm Carla Berridge. The Premier of Nevis, Honorable Mark Brantley, delivered the 2023 budget address on Monday, outlining an estimated $261.6 million in government expenditure for the fiscal year 2023. In his budget address themed Charting the Pathway to Socio-Economic Transformation, Investing to Accelerate Growth, Premier Brantley revealed the budget allotments for the various government ministries. The Office of the Premier is allocated $11.3 million, the Ministry of Finance $89.2 million, the Ministry of Communication and Works $35.9 million, the Ministry of Agriculture $17.6 million, the Ministry of Health $49.4 million, Ministry of Tourism $9.6 million, and Ministry of Education, Library Services, Information Technology, Youth and Sports $43.7 million. In his presentation, the Premier explained that the projected budgets are subject to external factors.
I wish to make it abundantly clear that annual budgets are merely projections for revenue and expenditure. Even though we have made these projections, we are fully aware that our ability to undertake this level of expenditure will naturally be limited by our ability to gain access to funding. Our major priority will be to complete the work on the new wing at the Alexandra Hospital and other projects started last year but are still incomplete before venturing to start work on any new projects. We must complete existing projects before starting new projects. I further wish to assure the public that we will not be reckless with our spending and will only seek to undertake capital projects if the funding becomes available and can be accessed at low cost in accordance with our debt management strategy.
As it relates to fiscal matters, Mr. Brantley pointed out that the budget is free of any new taxes, as the NIA supports the view of economists that increasing taxes above the optimal level will serve as a deterrent to increased economic growth, business expansion, and prosperity.
We also subscribe to the notion that it is the duty of every government to sustain growth in the economy through the creation of good, high-quality paying jobs and expand opportunities for entrepreneurial development in a manner that improves the livelihood and standards of our people. Therefore, Madam President, my administration aims to present a budget for this fiscal year 2023 that is free of any new taxes. While we have not sought to implement any new taxes, we will, however, make a concerted effort to collect any and all arrears of taxes.
The budget debates will take place starting Tuesday, February 21st. St. Kitts and Nevis is the first member of the Caribbean Community CARICOM to sign an agreement with African Export-Import Bank, Africaribbean Bank. Prime Minister Honorable Dr. Terence Drew met Professor Benedict Orama, president of the bank, on Friday to sign the Memorandum of Understanding. After holding meetings with various representatives from the organization and other investors at the 44th meeting of the Conference of the CARICOM Heads of Government. The agreement entailed collaboration on initiatives to implement projects in renewable energy, such as a solar plant, grid connectivity between St. Kitts and Nevis, in line with the nation's shared commitment to the development of geothermal energy, and smart metering, among other energy initiatives. Prime Minister Drew expressed his satisfaction in reaching an agreement and outlined that, quote, "It is quite coincidental that the first trip as Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis was to Barbados, where we met, and the first signing that I did in any agreement was also with the bank. Today I am pleased that we reached the point of signing this agreement. This is in fact our second MOU, but this is in relation to solar and geothermal energy. This will be groundbreaking. It will be historic for our nation. There are lots of possibilities, and that is why today's signing is critical," end quote. In November 2022, St. Kitts and Nevis's Cabinet of Ministers welcomed members of the bank on their first official visit to the nation following the successful Afro-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum held in Barbados in September 2022. A delegation of the bank visited St. Kitts and Nevis on Sunday to further discussions with the government on the proposed initiatives. Parliamentarians will gather at government headquarters on Wednesday for the second reading of 3 bills at the next sitting of National Assembly. The session begins at 10 a.m. Attorney General and Minister responsible for Justice and Legal Affairs, Honorable Garth Wilkin, will move the second reading of an amendment to the Integrity in Public Life Bill and Freedom of Information Bill, as well as the Anti-Corruption Bill. The National Assembly will be broadcast live on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM and participating radio stations. It can also be viewed live on TV Channel 5 in St. Kitts and Channel 98 in Nevis. It will also be streamed live at www.zizonline.com. Copies of bills, as soon as they are made available, can be found on the website sknis.kn of the St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service under the section titled Bills. On Saturday, Prime Minister Honorable Dr. Terence Drew and Minister of Foreign Affairs Honorable Dr. Denzel Douglas spoke with nationals living in Miami at a Diaspora meeting. The event was held at Patricia and Philip Frost Art Museum at Florida International University. Among the topics discussed were first-time homeowners assistance, derelict homes and vehicles, mandate of the Regional Integration and Diaspora Unit RIDU on behalf of the diaspora, access to the government service, renewable energy initiatives, universal health care, a new modernized hospital, and national security. The Prime Minister and Minister Douglas were also accompanied by Head of RIDU in the Prime Minister's office, Ambassador Larry Vaughan. Earlier in the day, the Prime Minister visited a Fancy Loaf bakery outlet owned by nationals. In a post on his Facebook page, Prime Minister Drew said, quote, "It was very moving to see so many familiar faces after such a long time. I'm looking forward to our meeting this afternoon at the Patricia and Philip Frost Art Museum," end quote. After the break, plans underway to reconstruct Fisheries Cooperative building in Deep Bay, and the Department of Marine Resources launches workshop. Stay with us.
Here are your Horses Value Mart IG Value Club Valentine's specials.
Running February 9 to the 22nd.
Our Value Club Blue Tag specials, IGA and Essential Everyday Honey Beer, $15.99. Quaker Granola Bars, just $11.99. Or Ida Fries, $18.99. Breyers Premium Ice Cream, $26.99. Tide Liquid Detergent, $34.99. Suavitel Fabric Softener, just $19.99. And now our very low weekly
Value deals. Post Honey Bunches of Oats, $12.99. Snack Pack Puddings, $5.99. IG and Essential Everyday Cream Cheese, $6.49. Welch's Grape Juices, $15.99. Mr. Clean Liquid Cleaner, $12.99. Dial Liquid Hand Soap, $5.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart. Tell them in Spanish.
Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí a Value Mart.
Want to get away? Now you can.
Stop
standing in long ATM lines to withdraw cash. Use your national debit or black cards to complete a wide variety of transactions at supermarkets, variety stores, gas stations, pharmacies, and more. Shop online at the most popular websites and stores for quality brands using your national debit or black cards. And take back your time to enjoy all the things that you love to do. Remember, instead of waiting in long ATM lines to withdraw cash, use your national bank cards today.
National Bank, always here.
We embarked a couple of years ago on a transformation program, and that is essentially to push the company into the 21st century. We're seeking to continue to be relevant, continue to be the leader in the business community, because if you stand still, somebody else is moving ahead of you.
We now employ about 110 persons on Nevis across the group. Back then we probably had half of them.
TBC impacted people's lives. Have about a handful of people who will tell you, TBC is my life.
Supporting stakeholders, obviously very, very strong and committed staff, and customers who believe in us.
Well, the scholarship program is, as far as I'm concerned, one of the best in St. Kitts.
Almost every year you get a student who says, one day, I'm going to be Prime Minister.
I was interviewing for the Warrell Tyson Scholarship Program. Eventually was told a few weeks later that I was a successful recipient. Those soft skills, I think, were tremendous and still serve me even up to today.
Welcome back. Minister responsible for Fisheries, Honorable Samuel Duggins, and Acting Permanent Secretary Miguel Fleming, along with a team of technical staff, visited the Fishers Cooperative Building in Deep Bay on Friday to further assess the damage caused by the passage of Hurricane Irma in 2017. While on site, Minister Duggins said that reconstruction of the building is necessary and added that the facility will also be outfitted with a new ice machine that will aid in the preservation of Fishers catch. Local fisherman Darwin Francis explained the significance of the building that once housed the Capistia Fishing Marketing Supply Cooperative and allowed fishers from neighboring communities to store and sell their fish caught at the Deep Bay Fish Landing site. Permanent Secretary Fleming said that the ministry is looking to enhance the condition of the building, which is not only key for fishing but has been used as a social space for the wider and neighboring communities. The Deep Bay Fish Landing site is known for its most popular catches of lobster, wahoo, and various reef fish. It is the only fish landing site that is protected by a reef. The Department of Marine Resources is planning to host Phase 2 of a series of workshops focusing on tapping into underused species in the fishing industry before the end of February. According to a release, the first training session was held on February 8th and focused on diamondback squid fishing, a species of squid identified as underutilized in the local fishing industry. While speaking on the benefits of the training, facilitator and fisheries assistant at the Department of Marine Resources, Karim Sadler, said the department is seeking new avenues that can help fishers turn their traditional fishing into a more lucrative catch by making use of underused species like the diamondback squid.
We've done some work in the past in 2017 and 2018 looking at the viability of the resource and becoming a target species. And we were able to discuss the benefits of the introduction of a species like this in terms of diversifying the catch that is in our waters locally and how that can contribute to food security and the development of the fishers' livelihoods and the fishing industry in general. And all of this is a part of the mandate of the Department of Marine Resources to sustainably develop our resources, and it is also in keeping with the 25 by 25 agenda of the Ministry of Agriculture marine resources, fisheries and cargo.
The second phase of the workshop will focus on diamondback squid catching techniques, processing and packaging, gear and equipment training, as well as experimental fishing trips with live demonstrations. The training will wrap up with diamondback squid value-added product making, taste testing and presentations. The Business and Professional Women's Club hosted a foot care clinic for the elderly for the second time on Saturday at AVEC. The project, undertaken by BPW, aims to provide foot and joint care to the elderly in order to improve their health and well-being and promote healthy living while providing an opportunity for the elderly to be pampered. President of the Business and Professional Women's Club, Lynn Bass, said the clinic helps to bring awareness to foot conditions.
We saw within the Federation many persons were becoming amputees because of lack of proper care to their feet. So we decided to host a clinic to bring awareness to people, to sensitize them about looking after their feet. That's why we partnered with the doctors, and then we decided to pamper them with a pedicure by sole to sole. This is a project, this is the second time it is done. We did it in 2019, and then because of the pandemic, we had a halt on it, and we are now doing it a second time.
BPW member Dr. Joylette Woodley spoke of the importance of preventative measures when it comes to one's health.
Persons neglect or ignore the minor issues, leave them, and then they become great. That is why we are pushing preventative medicine. And preventative medicine comes in the form of what BPW is doing, which is to sensitize people about the different issues that, if not treated on time, can become a real problem and lead to amputation. Our doctors are actually teaching patients how to examine their feet. They're also teaching the patients what to look out for. They're also teaching the patients that visit your doctor. Anything that you see strange, visit your doctor. And so far the patients are receptive. So far they love what they see. Many of them have told us that they would visit their private doctors to ensure that their feet are well taken care of.
A participant of the foot clinic spoke with ZIZ about her experience, noting that she was pleased with the event.
It was a great experience. I learned about this foot care program through my seniors group, the Moravian seniors group. And I thought that since I am diabetic, it would be a good thing for me to come. So I came and I was examined by a couple of doctors. They were very nice, and even the people before them, they escorted me to the location, and they were all very pleasant. Then I was given the go-ahead to go and have a manicure, a pedicure, which I did. And that too was a very good experience, and I'm really glad that I came because she gave me some pointers that I can follow.
The BPW Foot Care Clinic for the elderly was made possible through partnerships with Access Hope Social Club, the Ministry of Education, the Medical and Dental Association, Soul to Soul, and Unoma's Soup Kitchen. The St. Kitts Nevis Institute of Architects elected a new executive at its annual general meeting held on the 18th of November 2022. The new executive is made up of President Lindbergh Alvaranga, Vice President Dexter Fasal, Secretary Jennifer Dillon Sergio, Treasurer Melva Walters, and Executive Officers Sarne Glassford and George Hunkins. According to a statement, the new executive aims to establish the Architects Registration Board, embark on public education and sensitization drives, and foster a closer relationship with government and other professional associations to improve the quality of work done by local designers, contractors, and tradesmen. The St. Kitts Nevis Institute of Architects says it anticipates a very productive year ahead and wishes to thank all members and the public for the support throughout the years. Coming up in regional news, mudslides in Brazil kill